Hey guys, what's up?
That intro was like nice, very smooth.
Oh, you mean the countdown music?
Yes.
Yeah, StreamYard apparently changed their countdown music. It's 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 elevator music,
Yeah. It
which
sounds
means
like
that
something that would be in my dad's car. So
yeah, which means that Frank Lundy probably knows the lyrics too. One of
that's
my favorite things that he said to Deb about his
yeah.
age, like I know all the words, I know the lyrics to elevator music.
I am so unhappy with that whole suit. I'm glad it's open. We'll get to that when we get to that, but yuck for me.
Well, don't get too excited.
Oh god. Oh god. The show. I'm enjoying it. I'm honestly enjoying watching it. It's such a hoot, like, especially watching it like now. Like, I could definitely see exactly why it was a smash hit when it came
Yeah.
out. But like watching it with 2025 eyes, I'm like, holy fuck. Like,
Oh my god. Okay, and
so
not
much of
just
this would not be done.
and not just because of the problematic stuff, but because it was done when TV was still not really necessarily trying to be realistic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's propaganda.
And we're going to
It's
talk about that
yeah.
because there was a lot of that in these couple of
Yeah,
episodes.
it's major propaganda. It's deeply, deeply anti-feminist. Like, almost to a point of it being physically painful, but also it's like really sharp and funny and interesting, and the performances are great.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm enjoying myself in spite of like half enraged, half delighted.
Yeah, I
Like,
hear
it's
ya.
got to be.
Well, anyway, if you're not familiar with us, hi, I'm Kelly Inside Dog Keen.
I'm Jazzy. Wonderful news to Shamanic. I hope you know what I'm talking. It's upset from the episode 4.
It's wait.
LaGuardia calls the
Oh yeah,
son of
yeah,
the yeah.
yes.
She's like, I
I was
have
actually thinking about
wonderful
that.
news.
I
And I
know.
was
I was
like,
actually thinking about
no
that phone call
way.
today. I'm like, that's
That
how it
might
would
be
start
an
off.
exaggeration.
Yeah.
Your
No,
son's
that's exactly
alive.
that way.
He's
Yeah.
captive of an active serial killer and being sliced apart piece by piece. We get
Great.
like,
Kind of like
wonderful news.
kind of like Deb getting excited when the news broke about the Bay Harbor butcher.
Yeah.
Like, isn't this great? I can finally move on. Like they didn't know yet at the time that it was only like bad guys down there, people who were killing other people. Like it could be a bunch of kids for all they knew.
Yeah.
Great, I can move on.
Also, they say that's 30 bags, but they show hundreds of bags. They
Well,
show so many bags.
yeah, I know. I can't wait till we actually get into all of that because that was a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
That was a great. Besides my one huge pet peeve of a character, I really enjoyed watching that whole season. I just
Yeah.
finished night before last.
Awesome. So today we are chatting about we're rewatching season 1 of Dexter right now in preparation for Dexter Resurrection, which we are covering. And we are talking today about season 1 episodes 3 and 4, Popping Cherry and Let's Give the Boy a Hand. Some of these titles.
Yeah.
I like Let's Give the Boy a Hand. That's cute.
Yeah. Like, it is clever.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I wanted to comment that I did not realize, and we'll talk more about it when we get to it, but I did not realize until I rewatched it for the first time in a long time that Nurse Mary was played by Denise Crosby, who
I love Denise Crosby.
yeah, I don't know most of the stuff that most people know her from.
Star Trek.
Yeah, I'm not a big Star Trek fan. Um, but she was Terminus Mary on The Walking Dead.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I just she's also in Magicians.
Okay, cool. Which
is great,
which I keep meaning to watch, but I can't find it because I thought
it's on net. It might have left Netflix. I'll mail you. I owe you a package, so I'll mail you my Blu-rays.
Oh, sweet. I will totally watch it.
It's my it's my second. It's a spiritual successor to Buffy. That's what I call it. It's in the same like family of like modern fantasy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and it's just wonderful. We'll talk about that later. Possibly with this one podcast.
There you go. I want to mention we're just starting our Dexter coverage, so we're not a lot of people are finding our live chats yet. We're still experimenting with time slots. We might choose a different one soon just to see how it does. I don't know, but if we get enough people, as soon as we get enough people in our chat, we will do a giveaway. And I found some really, really fun giveaways that don't necessarily have to be Dexter specific, but they're really fun. And I can't wait till we actually have a chance to give one of these away because it'll be cool. But one thing that I wanted to bring up before I forget is it always bugged me, and this is something that a lot of people had commented on before, is that in the opening credits sequence, which I love the opening credits. I think it's great. It's really creative. Original Sin, they actually recreated it, but it's instead of just Dexter, it's Dexter and Harry and Debra getting ready for their day. And yeah, it's really cool. And then they like walk out of the house together because like, you know, Deborah's going to school and Harry and Dexter are going to Miami Metro. It's really cool. But the people always commented on the fact that we see Dexter shaving in the opening credits, but we never actually see him like clean shaven.
Yeah, ever.
And that's because Michael C. Hall specifically requested to not have to shave for this role because he had to be so clean shaven for all 5 seasons of 6 Feet Under because he was playing the funeral director.
Yeah.
So like he had to look really polished all the time. And so I was like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. And I saw a picture of him at 6 Feet Under, and obviously he was a lot younger, but oh my God, like the baby face. It's just so wild.
I can definitely now that you say that, I can 100% see that in the wardrobe. And like he never wears anything but like khakis and like a cash tee and sneakers. He's a very, very chilled out costume.
Yeah,
super
for sure.
lucky.
He dresses pretty much like Dexter is described as dressing in the books. And I do want to eventually get more into the books. I think that'd be cool. I'm going through them now. It's a lot disturbing as hell, man. They're fucking dark. Like a lot of this shit would not make it onto TV. But yeah, it would but it's very interesting, some of the differences. But let's get into episode 3. I'm gonna kind of like go along with the Dexter fandom wiki just to kind of try to keep things focused
Mhm.
on the events of the episode. Of course, you guys know us. We always go on tangents.
We
But
do be tangenting.
this is the Tangent podcast.
Mhm. I wouldn't say that. There's
I would.
there's some truly, yeah, no. We're pretty bad.
Yeah. Also, I also want to say if anybody watching this is a big Dexter fan and would be interested in joining me for a short episode to just discuss some of the photos that have come out from Dexter Resurrection, um Jazz is not caught up. So like she can't really discuss the stuff
Yeah.
that leads up to that. So if anybody wants to join us, that would or join me, that would be super cool. I hope you don't mind if I call you DZR. But DZR said my teen niece posted her stories, Dexter sassy edits. I don't know if I should be concerned or proud. That's cute. I like that.
Both.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you talking about photo edits or video edits? I'm working on a really funny video edit right now that I just haven't had the time to finish. With Captain Matthews. Jazz, I told you about that one.
Sorry, I was muting my cough.
But if you're an Always Sunny fan, you'll appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
But,
oh yeah.
So episode 3, we start at Ricky Simmons' funeral. And it's so funny because like every time they said Ricky Simmons, I knew they were saying Ricky Simmons, but I kept thinking that they were, she said, they said classic serial killer hot TikTok edits. That's hilarious.
Sounds like my kind of girl.
Yeah. But yeah, every time they said Ricky Simmons, I knew they were saying Ricky Simmons, but it just, I kept hearing Richard Simmons.
I could definitely see where you're coming from with that.
I'm so glad that there was not a killer named Richard Simmons.
Yeah.
I mean a character, not a killer, a character named Richard Simmons. But yeah, Dexter's wearing his shades because he's not comfortable at funerals. And I thought that was like, that cracks me up because of the whole 6 feet under thing.
Mm-hmm. Right?
Like Deb's like,
sure
I know you're
to a lot of them.
Yeah. And yeah, like Deb thanks him and she's like, I'm proud of you for coming, bro. I know how you hate funerals. It's and Michael C. Hall is probably thinking during that moment, he's like, yeah, I kind of do now.
At this point,
I kind of had to fake a whole bunch of them. For like however many years.
Yeah,
but
6, 5.
What's up? 5
6,
seasons.
5. Okay.
Yeah. But we see that he's basically honing in on this kid Jeremy Downs right now. And Jeremy Downs was recently paroled, and Dexter is convinced that he's going to reoffend. Jeremy Downs does not seem to fit the
He's
type
a child.
Exactly.
He's a literal child. I was like,
yeah. I don't see Dexter like. If this happened today, I don't think they would have Dexter going after him because he's just.
I know. We'll talk about this more in the next episode, but like, anyone ever heard of therapy on this show?
Right? Oh, you're gonna find out. Speaking of therapy, related to that, you'll find out some really fascinating shit that changes Dexter's whole story. In the final season.
Oh boy.
It's not good.
Oh no.
I told you the show goes to shit later on.
I've heard that.
Yeah, yeah. They completely retcon so much of Dexter's story.
I feel like they already they set him up as asexual in the first episode, and then they retcon that by the second episode. That's boring. We need Julie Ben's side boob.
we've got
Back to
Jeremy
murdering
Downs.
a child.
Yeah. Yeah, Dexter wants to murder a child. And he's like it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but we'll get past that. There's a great moment where Dexter's planting a lemon tree in Rita's yard, and she's like, yeah, I moved here from Michigan with dreams of growing fruit trees in my front yard, and she's like, I can't help it, I kill things. And Dexter's like that must be terrible.
Hashtag relatable.
Yeah. Exactly.
I just love how he's always like, Rita's so perfect. She's amazing and beautiful and damaged and broken and perfect.
Yeah.
Like, we get it. You like Rita.
But we then find out that there is another ice truck killer victim that was found, and she is chopped up in pieces on the Miami Blades ice hockey rink.
Yeah, that was gruesome.
Yeah, seriously.
That was rough.
I figure this is probably a good time to point out. So, in just a little FYI, in the books, the ice truck killer is not the ice truck killer. He's I can't remember the name of the trail, but it's some indigenous name, the something trail butcher, and he basically chops up prostitutes and leaves them bloodless. If I'm remembering correctly, he also leaves them bloodless.
Does he also have an ice truck, or is that not a part of it? Okay, interesting.
No. There's no ice trucking involved. But so they see the they find a surveillance tape that shows the night watchman Tony Tucci basically setting up the pieces. Okay.
Piscatella. I was surprised.
Man.
Piscatella Jr., basically.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, Piscatella. Oh my god. That's a name I haven't thought about in a while.
I just rewatched Orange is the New Black, so it was fresh in my mind.
Nice. I just feel like, and now he's suddenly missing. I just feel like I don't feel like the cops would latch onto this. It's just all a little bit obvious. You know what I mean?
I kind of think it makes sense. Oh, look, the path of least resistance. Let's put all of our energy into railroading that so we don't have to do any actual police work.
I mean, unless they thought that the killer wanted to be caught, Yeah,
it was, it seemed pretty obvious to me that he was, not working on him with his own free will, but
yeah, exactly. But Debra sees the body and mentions that she knows her. I love that Dexter's like, do you want a hug? That just cracked me up. But she basically she knows this woman. She kind of feels like, she feels a desire for some sense of personal justice, probably
Mhm.
because she knows her, and she doesn't really like to see the prostitutes getting chopped up because she knew them all. So she tells LaGuardia and Dokes that she wants to take her tube top and her nipple clamps and go hit Kelly Ocho again. um and
they're not cool with sex workers on this show, like
yeah.
at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, I know. But so we then see Dexter follow Jeremy to the swap meet, and he's buying a knife. Sorry. So like Jeremy is like, flinging this thing around. I'm sorry. If I were the vendor, I'd be like, I'm not selling you that knife, dude.
Right? He's like, how well does this murder, sir?
Right.
He's like, oh, great, kid. Murder 6 ways.
Yeah.
20% off. Like, what the fuck?
He might as well have just said, yeah, I want this knife to murder somebody. Is that cool?
Right?
God. But we then see we get another Harry and Dexter flashback. By the way, I didn't point out last week that one of my favorite lines from the show, like, I'm such an animal lover, so I don't like hearing that anybody killed a dog. But when Dexter, there's something so funny to me about Dexter calling that dog a noisy little creep. The little kid Dexter. He's like, that dog was a noisy little creep, Dad.
Yeah. Mom couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
Like,
that was hilarious.
My
but,
whole like I don't understand what like Harry's like, Dexter, you've murdered every animal in the neighborhood. It's time to teach you to do it without getting caught.
Right?
Like, maybe there's more help than you can give him, bud. Maybe he needs to see some professionals instead of teaching him to murder better.
Yeah.
Call me crazy.
Yeah. Because, I mean, regardless of how you feel about what he's doing, there are consequences. I'm not talking about legal consequences, but innocent people do get hurt.
Mm-hmm. It happens.
Yeah. And we don't see Dexter really doing that up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
But Rita was basically his undoing. Like, Rita, he found Rita. He decided to get himself a girlfriend with a couple of kids because it was a great a beard. Like, she was the perfect beard. And he eventually falls in love with her, which just makes him messy. And I mean, you already saw it happen in season 2,
Yeah.
It happens right away in season 2. But yeah, I mean, a lot of innocent people end up getting killed because Dexter gets messy. And yeah. But yeah, like, you'll get, I can't wait. I know it's going to be a long time before you get to the final season, but all of his whole origin story gets explored in a totally different way.
Interesting.
And it's bothersome because it's just like, you're just going to flip everything on us now. But I don't want to talk about, I don't want to annoy you by talking about that too much, because that's like way off. But yeah, so let's talk about Dokes here for a second.
Yeah. He's
okay. Dokes, we know that Dokes has a temper. We know that Dokes has a personal axe to grind with this latest victim because, he was sleeping with her.
Yeah.
But we also know that Dokes is smart and for the most part keeps his shit together. You're gonna tell me he's really gonna show up at what was it? Was it a quinceañera? Or was it a birthday party?
Yeah. I think it was a quinceañera.
Okay.
Or was it communion? Or I feel like he was at a church.
But yeah, I mean, he basically just busted in and is like, hey, I want to bring a lawsuit against Miami Metro. Who wants to help me out? I'm so
stealthy.
Yeah. Yeah. I am so confused about this, and I have more thoughts on it. As we go through the episode, but it's not very. It just doesn't seem very Dokes-like.
His style of police work is like very episode dependent. It seems like.
Yeah, agreed. Also, something else that I want to say about Dokes is that I don't think the show. I think the show could have done. I wish they had leaned into the whole dark passenger angle with him more, because that was explored in the books a lot more. And it's why he was on to Dexter so quickly.
Yeah.
And like they recognized that in each other.
He had really good chemistry with Debra. And he's like the only person that treats her. He and Batista are like the only people who actually treat her like a cop and not like a person who chose to be assigned to the hooker task force or whatever. Right. Like,
yeah,
he's just he's like the only person that actually talks to her like a person besides Dexter and Batista, and it gave me a soft spot for him early on.
Yeah.
I
like. It's so funny because Maria is so terrible to her. And I was watching a video where this guy was going in on LaGuardia, and I'm like, I'm totally agreeing with everything he said, but I'm like, I don't care, I still love her.
she's growing on me. She's definitely
I hated her in season 1 because I just couldn't get past the whole like her hitting on Dexter.
Yeah, that is super creepy. And then the way she like, first of all, if you want to bang this guy, why are you being so mean to his sister?
Right. Yeah.
And then second of all, like, why her acting like Deb working with like the undercover as an undercover like sex worker is somehow beneath the like you told that you're her boss. You put her there. Like, why are you acting like she's doing something wrong? It was just very strange. I don't think her character was very well like thought out in season 1.
No, I don't think so either. Yeah,
she gets much better like after the episode with the kid, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. She still does some fucked up shit throughout the series.
Sure.
Like she does something really fucked up in the final season. Ooh. Or not the final season, in season 7. In season 7, she does something really fucked up. But there's not really a focus put on it. Because it's more about the story as a whole. And so it kind of got glazed over because it was just such a like, it was just very brief. Like they didn't put a lot of emphasis on that part because it's really wasn't, I mean, there wasn't a lot of room to explore the ethics of this thing that she did. But it's, but I just think she's a really interesting character. And I love Lauren Velez. I think Lauren Velez is so great in the role. I really like her acting. But she's just, I don't know. I find her really, really layered and fascinating. But so they, oh, it was, I just looked it up. It was a confirmation. It's a church confirmation.
There we go.
Yeah. Um, and I can understand even if he went in there and he was just like raging and like foaming at the mouth and he's like, I know you killed Kara or whatever, but he just goes in there and he's all like calm about it. And he's like, you killed 2 people. And
Right.
yeah, it's weird.
Your
It's very weird.
grandpappy's a murderer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very, very, very weird. But so yeah, we see Debra going back, and it. I loved this. There's one of the Oh, and her name is Brandy, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Her yeah, the girls know her as Brandy, and they're all excited to see her, and she's like, so I have a confession to make. I'm not who you think I am. And okay, yeah, that's another thing. That would never happen, okay?
No. Why would you just
never
blow
happen.
your cover like that?
Exactly.
What if some of those girls just knifed her? Like,
Seriously. But there's one of the one of the prostitutes is named Bridget. And she cracked me up because like Debra hardly got the words out of her mouth and she just takes off.
yeah.
She's
That
like,
was
relax,
funny.
I'm not gonna book you, but it cracked me up. Like it was just
I like that one girl was like, you're not a cop, you're a hoe.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But she tells them all that Cherry was killed, and so that kind of hooks their interest a little bit. They're because they don't want to hear that their friend and colleague was murdered and chopped up, and um but yeah, there's a funny conversation where one of the women tells Debra mentions La Guerra, and one of the women calls her pimp. She's like, she's not my pimp. And
she tells you what to do.
Yeah, she's like, does she tell you what to do? Does she take half your money? Does your pussy take the beating or whatever? She's like, that she's your pimp. And I like that they gave her shit about it because she's like, they're like, you're not a cop, you're a fucking whore. She's like, I'm not a fucking whore. They're like, what's wrong with being a fucking whore? I love that. I liked that a lot. Because I was like, geez, Debra. Like, my God, judgmental much? What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's Dexter brings her a cactus, which was kind of funny.
That's what people do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It kind of reminds it's the way you just said that totally makes me think of like, how crows will just bring random objects
Yes.
to people's homes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because they recognize them as items that people use because they see people using them or carrying them around.
Yeah.
And they'll like bring them to try to get some nuts or whatever. And so
crows.
Oh, I'm obsessed with them.
Yes.
I've got a crow collar actually right now. I just got one, and I'm trying to attract them. I'm plotting a murder.
Have you seen? I think it's a raven, but there's a video of a raven in London, and he has an English accent. And she's like, "All right, love." And he's like, "All right, love." And he's like, "Oh, well, all right, love." And like,
that's amazing.
It was so cute.
That's amazing. I haven't even been able to attract any crows yet, but I'd love to get to the point where I get to know them well enough that they actually talk to me because that would be fucking amazing.
Yes.
But oh, hey, Kaiwan. Yeah, I didn't Kaiwan's been watching since season 1. I actually didn't catch on until season 3, I think. That's when I started watching. So I went back and had to like go back and watch the first couple on DVD. Because
I'm just watching it for the first time.
Yeah. And I totally just watched it for Michael C. Hall, but I ended up getting hooked on it right away. But yeah, so Dexter's kind of like a crow. Like he's like, oh, this is something that
This is what a person does.
Yeah, this is what a normal person does. This is gonna be my little crow gift to her. My little serial killer crow gift. And I love that he's like, you only have to water it 3 times a year, which cracked me up because Dexter's like, of course Dexter's gonna think about that because he kills people.
Exactly.
Like, so he's thinking about like
resistant plant.
Yeah, he's thinking about how to avoid Debra killing cactus. But Debra would kill a plant.
Oh, for sure.
She's very much like that. Like I recognize very easily when somebody is like me in certain respects. And Debra in a lot of ways is kind of a kindred spirit. And I know that she cannot grow anything. And I know that. Like I just know that by who she is. Because she's a kindred spirit.
I'm good at growing plants outside, but I can't get them to grow inside.
Yeah, I'm terrible about it.
Can't do it.
But so anyway, they're talking about Tucci. Debra obviously doesn't think that Tucci's the killer. But when where was I? Oh yeah. They found a surveillance tape in Tony Tucci's apartment, and they said that Tucci has a record. He pulled a knife at a party. Okay, that's not great. Yeah, that's not great. Okay, but I mean, it's assault with a deadly weapon.
Scarlet letter M.
But like, I mean, the guy pulled. That's all they have on him, and like, he doesn't even have any robberies or anything on his record. Like, what the hell?
And he's white. You should just let him go.
Yeah. I don't know.
That wouldn't be enough. No, it would. Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be, is the point.
Yeah, exactly. We had a scene where I liked the scene with the social worker, actually, because I thought it was a good opportunity to sympathize with single parents. Because Rita had a home visit from the social worker, and she was running late, and so Dexter agreed to be there. And fortunately, the social worker was cool about everything. But I mean, she was just going to take off anyway, and she said only nice things about Rita, so that was cool. But it's just I just not to compare the two, because I kind of hate comparisons like this, but I sympathize with single parents a lot, because I think that as a person with multiple disabilities, I think that we have a lot of struggles in common.
Absolutely.
Because children are dependent. So in a way, it's almost like, I don't want to call children a disability, okay? But I mean, they're dependents. You can't just you have to do things for them. You have, so it's like, you have a whole set of obstacles that are similar in a way. But so we I want to get to the flashback with the bad Bieber wig.
I died. I died. I texted you immediately. Yeah. Who are they trying to fool, though? Come on. Michael C. Hall is a great looking man. Michael C. Hall did not look like he's in his early 20s.
No.
It's not happening.
No, definitely not.
Not happening. He's like, gee, Dad. I'm
fellow
just a
kids.
teen. I'm only
Um,
19 years old as I'm
yeah.
moving fever bangs out of
I'm
my
surprised
eyes.
he didn't like put fake acne on his face.
Right?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. I died. Sorry.
Yeah,
Anyway.
that was pretty
Yes.
hilarious.
This flashback.
Yes. Um, they recreated it like almost perfectly in Original Sin, except in Originals, because Original Sin is the prequel and it's, you know, it's explores like Dexter, Debra, and Harry kind of, they're all main characters. They're not just there to support Dexter's story. Um, and Harry plays a big part in the prequel. Um, and we're in the prequel, we see it in real time. And it's like, I love the effort and the thought that they put into and completely recreating it in Original Sin. Like the cat had the same name. Like, I feel like so many shows would leave half of it out and just not
Yeah.
really be concerned about it. But the cat was there. The cat had the same name. He pulled the like he had the raincoat thing on that he pulled over his face when he was killing her. Like the dialogue in the hospital, so much of it was the same. Um, like when she went to give him the shot and Harry told Dexter to stop, like it was recreated perfectly. The cat had the same name, everything.
Fascinating.
Um,
I'm excited to get there.
yeah, but you see more of it, of course, because it's happening in real time on the show.
Yeah, not a
So
flashback.
yeah, like you see in the original series, you only see Dexter like just recognizing that she's doing something shady,
Yeah.
but you actually like you see him like he starts kind of watching her at work and he like starts talking to her and tells her that he's in medical school and he's like asking her questions about certain things because he's curious and trying to find out what the fuck her deal is because so many patients keep dying under her care. Um and yeah, so it was really interesting. Um even like even the voiceover, so much of it was the same. Um he tells her scream and lose a tongue, in both. Like it's really cool. Yeah, I can't wait till you get that because it's really awesome. Like even the poses. I was telling Jazz before we started, like we see in this episode, we see Debra wheeling Harry out and they're celebrating that he's better now and he's getting out of the hospital and she's like spinning him around in the wheelchair and he's like, ah! They recreated that perfectly. It was really cool. Um, but yeah, I mean, they like he was going to die if Dexter didn't step in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So Harry
Um,
never knows that he killed her.
um, well, no, he tells Dexter
Okay.
to kill him. We saw that
Yeah.
in here too, but we see the kill in Original Sin, and we see him. I think we see him discussing it with his dad after he's home. I can't remember completely. I have to go. I haven't watched it since it aired, which wasn't all that long ago, but like
Yeah.
go back and watch it. But it cracked me up that she's like, the body can't suffer in sweet repose, and she leaves and they're like talking about how weird she is. I'm like, okay, look who's talking.
Right?
I wouldn't be calling anybody weird, Dexter. um but so then we later on get Deborah and Angel looking at the surveillance tape and decide that Tony Tucci looks like he's looking off to the side, like he's getting instructions. So they totally think he's being set up. then we see Dexter following Jeremy Downs again, and he's taken this kid to see an alligator, which basically is like how he killed this other person.
Yeah, recreating his first kill.
Yeah, exactly. And Dexter just like, why would you be playing volleyball in a swamp?
Yeah. Oh, bro.
I know. He just pops out. He's like, "Hey, anybody see a volleyball?" And it rolls over in this direction. Swamp volleyball, yeah. They're playing with the gators.
It's 7-0 Gators.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I'm the last one.
But I absolutely love the way that Dexter completely like pretty much shits his pants when he sees the, I mean, who wouldn't? But we never really get to see Dexter scared very often.
Yeah.
And
it's a good time to be scared.
Yeah, for sure. But he finds out that Jeremy like took some of his shit, which isn't cool. So now he's gonna have to kill him for sure.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's all the only option.
Yeah. The only option is murder.
It's just science.
When I watched this, I wasn't necessarily thinking to myself, oh my God, this would never happen. But I'm kind of wondering how often something like this happens, how common it is when Debra goes to Captain Matthews.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells him what she found out and why she thinks that Tucci isn't the killer. And Matthews totally reams her out for going behind LaGuardia's back. And like I could see Debra not really understanding the politics as well yet, but still she worked on Vice,
Yeah, and she like her dad was a cop. Like she grew up in a cop family.
Yeah, you would think that she would know better. She doesn't. Obviously, she's not going to understand the politics as well as a lot of the other people there, but you would think that she would still know better. But at the same time, it's like she's so driven by her conscience that like I don't really think that would necessarily matter to her all that much if she was convinced that somebody was innocent,
Mm-hmm.
She's not really a by the book person.
Definitely.
I mean, none of them really are.
No.
I mean, LaGuardia is probably the closest. But yeah, she definitely is not by the book either. But yeah, anyway, so she violates the chain of command, which yeah, Matthews is not happy about. But he thinks that she has a good point. So she accomplished what she wanted to accomplish, essentially.
It's annoying that that's how police departments work. Like we have a suspect, like, and we're just gonna focus on that suspect until we like run through the entire, and like then we'll move on to the next one instead of maybe not having tunnel vision. I know that's not how like every case works and not how every cop does it, but it's just too many.
yeah, for sure. And it's I like the whole concept of Dexter because Dexter basically is there to clean up the messes left behind, essentially.
Yeah.
Because so many slip through the cracks.
Mm-hmm.
But but yeah, so I mean, just the whole premise of the show is interesting for that fact. We're not dealing with something like You, where the protagonist is like, we know he's a bad guy. We don't want him to win,
Yeah,
but we enjoy watching it. You know, Dexter, it's like you're kind of rooting for him in a way, because he's not like, you recognize that he's not really doing the best job.
He definitely does a more thorough job of investigating.
Yes.
Like, I don't like that he just thinks he gets to decide who lives and who dies. Like,
yeah,
that's kind of okay. Like, but I do like that he goes the like distance to make sure that the people that he's hurting are guilty.
Which is why Miguel is my favorite character. And I can't wait for you to see more of his story, because they really get into that. About like, you know, about like Miguel questioning Dexter on, well, I won't get too into it, but anyway, I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, it's really cool. I love Jimmy Smits.
Yeah, he's great. I've really enjoyed what I've seen so far.
Yeah. But yeah, he's fantastic as Miguel, and Miguel is just such a fucking fascinating character. Probably my favorite. Him, and then Julia Stiles' character in season 5 are probably my favorite temporary characters. But anyway, Deborah's walking around Kelly Ocho at night looking for the killer, but you know, she sees a station wagon, but you know, she doesn't really have any luck. Let's talk about this. God, everything with Dokes in this episode was just, what the fuck kind of cops are these? I'm like, so they tell like this McNamara dude, it's like, yeah, we're gonna go out and blow off some steam, and Dokes like, yeah, I'll come with. So McNamara was Kara's brother. That means her name is Kara McNamara.
Kara McNamara.
That's really unfortunate.
She was married.
But I knew a Carrie actually.
Oof.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I always joked that I wanted to marry a guy whose last name was Green. So and then because that'd be kind of funny, Kelly Green. Yeah, and then we could have kids and name them Forrest and Olive. That'd be and Hunter. Oh my god. But anyway, they tell Dokes, but they all get together and they tell Dokes that they're gonna beat up Guerrero's guy, his top lieutenant, and Dokes is like, what the fuck, man? What are you doing here? This isn't cool. Like, we can't do this. And I'm like, yeah, you really can't.
Right.
And they don clown masks, and they and Dokes is like, what the fuck, man? I just like blew up at this confirmation. They're gonna think I'm behind it. And they're like, yeah, that's the whole point. Yeah,
you fucked my sister and now you're just fucked.
Is this like the Wild West Miami Metro?
Right?
What the fuck?
Why are they all wearing twisted metal masks?
Seriously, what the hell? But so we then see Dexter track down Jeremy again, and he's like in a halfway house, and he shuts the lights off, and Dexter pins him against a wall, and Jeremy's like, you're gonna rape me, like, because the last guy who did that I killed, and Dexter immediately eases off, and he's like, oh, okay. So he's just gonna take this kid's word for it. If this kid
Right.
supposedly meets his code, if he thinks that he meets his code, which I don't think he does, because he's a kid, you're just gonna take his word for it? Like,
Guess so.
did you just develop this code last week?
Today, yeah, this afternoon.
Oh my god, there are so many problems. I would love to do a video of all the times Dexter violated the code, because there are so fucking many.
I hate the code. It is not sensical.
Yeah.
Like, there are
Yeah,
so
no,
many
it's
people that should have gotten it in Dexter's orbit that just didn't. Anyway,
yeah. Yeah, it's so bizarre. But
arbitrary.
but I like how he got all threatening with him, though, in the most. Michael C. Hall's acting here was great, because it was like we knew that he was putting up a front.
Mm-hmm.
So he was basically playing somebody who is supposed to seem threatening, who's supposed to genuinely seem scary and threatening, but at the same time seem that he was putting up a front. And it came off as kind of comical, which is how it should have come off.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was really well executed. When he's like, I don't want to cancel all my credit cards and stand in line at the DMV, so give me my shit back or I'll break your fucking neck. I thought that was just I thought that was really well done.
Agreed.
Yeah. But so anyway, he tells him on his way out that, like, he asks him if the guy that he killed, if he deserved it, and he said yeah, and he's like, okay, well, this kid didn't. And he tells him to remember that, because it could save his life one day. And
I really thought they were gonna start like a whole Batman and Robin relationship there
mhm.
of unjust murder. What a
Yeah.
missed opportunity.
Mhm. So in the books, Dexter was with Rita,
Mm-hmm.
and she had Cody and Astor. In the books, Cody and Astor were little psychopaths.
Oh,
They were like emerging. They were budding young psychopaths.
was that because of their relationship with Dexter, or just in general?
No, just in general. And
Sounds random.
they decided not to do that on the show, which
Yeah.
I'm glad for. But
why?
I know. But I feel like they kept trying to put Dexter with kids because they were kind of regretting not doing it. You know?
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't feel like that makes any sense. Why are they? Well, I guess their home life is pretty unstable, but still.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't like it. It doesn't like. It takes a certain type of person to just be a cold-blooded killer. And Paul was abusive. He was a rapist. But I don't know that he has that cold-blooded killer gene in him that he would pass down to his children. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm glad that they didn't do that with Cody and Asher, but
same.
I'm kind of I kind of feel that they may have regretted it, because they just this is not the only kid that he tries to mentor along the way. But so anyway, we the show ends with Dexter bringing Rita this car that he borrowed from Impound, and it just like it cracks me up because I mean, it's hilarious enough that Dexter's driving around this car, but like Rita and her two little kids,
right? And this gangster,
yeah,
like, fucking Cadillac convertible with, was it like rosary beads on the hood?
so.
Yeah, like,
I think so.
lowrider, like, wow. He's like, it's for you and the kids, this mob car. Yeah, that was funny. I brought you a cartel transportation device.
Yeah. I don't have a VIP idea name yet, but we could do maybe we could do Dark Passenger for the LVP. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who would be your LVP of this?
Can
There's so many LVPs in
donut,
this episode.
donut bringer.
Yeah.
LaGuarta is my LVP for this episode. My dark passenger for this episode. I hate watching police procedurals, especially where they like railroad police work like that. And so like they know they don't have the right guy.
Right.
My donut bringer, I don't know. Everyone in this episode was rough. Probably just gonna like go with Batista as a placeholder because he's just the least problematic person in the episode.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna go to the hooker that ran away when she heard Deb was a cop.
That's who I was thinking about giving it to.
Yeah. That's a smart girl.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I'm also giving my my dark passenger to Maria for the same thing, for the same reason. It seems
Maria.
It was hard for this episode, but yeah, she kind of deserves it.
Yeah.
Just because of her ego, like, you know.
Yeah.
She's willing to just like go after this guy. But I am gonna go for my MVP. I am going to go with I'm just gonna give it to Rita for like just having to put up with so much shit and like still just trying to be a great mom to her kids and like
and Dexter.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I now notice. So we've been just joking about how she says Dexter.
Oh yeah.
Hey Dexter. And now in season 3, Cody's doing it. In the first like scene that he's in, he's like, "Oh hey Dexter," and I was like, "Oh no."
Oh god, I never noticed that about Cody.
It's so funny.
That's hilarious.
I love Julie Benz, but we make fun of the way she says the Angel. We're supposed to be together, Angel.
Oh my god, that's so funny. That's so funny. I love it. Yeah, I feel like I can't. I'm willing to give Dexter an occasional LVP or MVP, but I feel like he's just gonna be a default.
Yeah.
Or something every week, whether it's the MVP or the LVP. I figure like so yeah. So I will I will give it to him as like an honorary if I think that he's, you know, the best choice. But
Try to
yeah,
avoid it.
I'm giving the MVP to Rita because she just, I mean, the shit that she's had to deal with, like, because of Paul, and she's just like, she has every right to deal with her trauma, but she's just like, she doesn't even want Dexter to help her deal with it. She's like, I just want to move on. And I just,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not saying that's how people should, that's what people should be like, because people have every right to deal with their trauma however they want to, but like, it's just, I like the fact that she recognizes that she has these 2 kids that need some stability, and she's like, that's what she cares about right now. She's like
Amen.
still laser focused, you
Yeah.
know. But so yeah, that's my MVP and LVP. So we are really wanting to do some giveaways. We haven't really had anyone joining our Dexter streams yet. But if we can get enough people in the chat, we will give some fun stuff away. I'm trying to do a fun little giveaway called Find Debra's Treadmill. And it's there's absolutely no secret meaning in that.
Nope.
None whatsoever.
Don't examine the first letter of each word. That wouldn't bring you any kind of clue.
No. But I'm so excited about this giveaway that I put the initials on
yes.
my board behind me.
Find Debra's Treadmill. It's
yes.
super obvious.
But so I'm really wanting to do that. Also, I'm still looking for somebody to do an episode with me, just a short episode. Like, you don't even need to be on camera. Like, usually when we dissect trailers and stuff, like, I don't even turn my camera on for those episodes most of the time. What's up?
I didn't say anything.
Oh. But yeah, so if anybody, I've got some theories based on the behind the scenes, or not the behind the scenes, based on the filming photos that we've seen. So I'd love to have somebody join me for that, because I just don't want to do it by myself. But if you are just finding our channel, please check out our Yellow Jackets coverage. That's primarily what we're known for. We are also going to very soon have a Cyborg Queen Media podcast, which most of our non-Yellow Jacket stuff will go on to. You'll be able to find that on wherever you listen to podcasts. But we will see you very soon. Leave us a comment if you would like to join a watch party. We didn't do it this week because there wasn't really any interest in it. But if you're interested in watching the Dexter episodes along with us, and joining us in the chat afterwards, let me know, and I'll set that up, and we can have a fun little watch party. But anyway, thanks for hanging with us. Jazz, did you have anything else that you wanted to add before we get out of here?
Excited for next week. Yes,
me too. So come and join us, and turn your notifications on, because if we change the time for our Dexter lives, then we'll post in our community tab on our channel. But that's all for now, and we will see you guys real soon. Bye.
Bye, everybody.